What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today is going to be like, let's cook some stuff, let's hang out, let's do, I don't know, because we're all in quarantine. So I thought it'd be interesting just to share with you guys like kind of what I do on my productive days, because trust me, this is not an everyday occurrence. This is like maybe a once or twice a week occurrence. And if you're feeling the same way and you don't feel productive or you don't feel motivated right now, that is okay and that is totally normal. Don't let all these people saying you need to start your side hustle and you need to use this time to be productive and get all these things done and tap into your creative side. Don't let that get you down if you're not there. That's amazing for those people, but not everyone is the same, and you shouldn't be made to feel bad if you're not being productive during this time, because there's a lot going on there, like around the entire world. There's no new normal, so we're all in this together. So without getting into that, I need coffee because when my alarm went off this morning, I was in such a deep sleep. Like, it took me 30 minutes from leaving my bed to actually come down here. So I really need coffee today. And I also have therapy in a little bit. So Luna is behind the scenes running around, jumping up and down. She's like, what? Not everyone is as awake as you, girlfriend. Oh my God, I wish you guys could see her. She's literally darting back and forth. We'll film some of you today. Will that make me better? Do you want to be in the video? All right, so you guys, I'll get some Luna content in a little bit. Can you please, Luna, sit. Good girl. I can't play with you. We have therapy in a little bit. I'm very grateful that I'm able to do therapy, that I have insurance. Anyways, as I was saying, I have therapy in a little bit, which is always an adventure. I always feel so much better afterwards, but sometimes it's really hard. Yeah, so I'm very fortunate that I get to be in therapy, and if you have the resources to, I highly suggest it. It just makes me feel so much better every week. So yeah, coffee. I already showed you guys how I do this in my last video, so I'll link it up above. I also pulled this out. This is like my mom's like hand mixer from, I don't know how many, this thing might be as old as I am, because sometimes when I use my stand mixer, it seems like the motor gets really upset when I have it on 10, and it's like you kind of need to have it on 10 for the coffee to get whipped. So I was like, maybe I'll give it a break and try this. If you can make this work, you have so much patience, because 10 minutes of me whipping with this on high, it was like getting nowhere. It would just look like syrup. So this didn't work out for me. The stand mixer is like the best thing that I found so far. So let's do coffee. This is how my morning is going. I thought I was filming, but I wasn't. So I take my caramel drizzle and I just drizzle along the sides. I added some ice. I used my caramel creamer until about here, and then the rest is almond milk, and that's where we're at. Sometimes I like to froth the milk together and the creamer together like you saw in my last video, but today I'm lazy, so I'm just going to give it a mix up. And there you have it for one serving. Anybody else just like instantly feel better when they have their coffee? I know that it's extra to make it like this, but this is the best way that I like my coffee. And it also makes me feel productive, and it makes me feel like I did something today. And I don't know what it is about like whipping the coffee every morning. It just like makes me happy. So let me know your favorite way to make coffee down below. I'm like not a coffee person. I hate the way coffee tastes. I'm that basic bitch, like I said in my last video, that rolls up to Starbucks and orders a caramel frappuccino or a cafe vanilla frappuccino, and sometimes a caramel macchiato if I want to feel like my brain is going to explode, because I'm so sensitive to caffeine. That's why I have the recipe for this. And sometimes this is even too much for me. And I bought vanilla syrup, and I've bought like so many different cold brews to kind of make my own like lattes at home, but I never really liked them. Like, I love this. Like, this is so good. So yeah, let me know what you guys like in the comments. And another simple thing that makes me feel better is this candle. I've had this for years. I got it at Home Goods. Do you remember Home Goods? I miss Home Goods. Like, I'm an introvert, so this isn't really different from like my everyday life, but I really do miss Home Goods, because whenever I would start to feel stir crazy, I'd always go to Target or Home Goods and just like walk around and just look at stuff. But I've had this candle forever from Home Goods. It's almost gone. I think I want to turn it into an actually usable jar because it's so pretty. But it's like a toasty, warm, like vanilla with a hint of like cinnamon in it. And it smells so good and so comforting. And like, I just am appreciative of the aroma, and it's just making me feel more calm having a candle lit. So I have to go to therapy. I will check back in with you guys after to show you how I do my typical everyday kind of breakfast when I'm not being a complete lazy POS. While I'm here and I'm bored, and I feel like I have someone to talk to, let me show you my very long commute to therapy. Oh my gosh, I'm so thankful that my therapy office offers Zoom services. It's amazing. I'm not gonna lie, when this is over, I'm just gonna wanna sit there and probably keep wanting to do Zoom services because I'm lazy and I don't like leaving my house. All right, I'm gonna show you what I typically do for breakfast a couple times a week when I'm not being lazy and want something a little bit more than cereal. And I've tried messing with my tripod so much, but it's like crooked. So I would also like to argue that my Aries kitchen is a little bit more chaotic than Julian's Aries kitchen, because I'm not quite as organized with the presentation as he is. And this is certainly not one of those cookie cutter channels where everything is like, you know, displayed nicely in like 10 different bowls, because I don't do that here. So this is not what you're getting on this channel. So anyways, I use eggs. I take 2 egg whites and then 1 whole egg. That's what I use. I also have bacon, avocado. This is a small avocado for me, so I pretty much use the entire one. Normally I like going to Sprouts because they have like the really big ones, and I'll use half of an avocado, the big one. I also have some sea salt here, some lime juice. You're gonna need a little bit of butter for your pan. I am a fan of hot sauce on my eggs and avocado toast, so this is the Chula classic hot sauce. And you're also gonna need some bread. My favorite wheat bread is from Oro Wheat. It's the organic smooth wheat. I hate like grainy bread because I feel like it gets stuck in between my teeth. But I love the smooth wheat bread. So I already made my bacon because I just didn't feel like it would be exciting to watch. So I'm gonna take 2 slices of toast, pop that in the toaster. We're gonna move over to the kitchen and get to prepping and cooking the eggs. I'm gonna warn you all, like I said, I'm an Aries, so I don't do things great. I'm also not good at multitasking. So my husband is also an Aries, but he has Virgo in him, so he is heavily bothered anytime I'm literally in the kitchen cooking or putting any kind of meal together, because it's not the way he would do it. So you may be disturbed by what you're going to see me do today. I just like prepping the avocado first. Maybe I should have had you on the other side of me, but I just, you know, if you put dices in it, it's a lot easier to scoop out. And I'm doing small enough dices, and it will just like mush. I mean, I'm mushing it together, but this is just, you know, easiest for me. Just have a little bowl here, and now we do the scoopy. And then I just flip it upside down to make sure that there's not any scary rotted spots that I'm not seeing. Again, don't come for me, but I found that if you are going through avocados and like they're going bad too fast, putting them in the fridge has made them last a lot longer. So basically, if I know like I'm not going to be in the mood to make this or whatever for a couple of days, or I notice that an avocado that I have sitting out is starting to get a little bit mushy, I will go ahead and throw it in the fridge and it lasts a lot longer. These ones I bought, gosh, like 5 days ago at the store, and I knew I wouldn't be using them for a while, so I put them in the fridge and they're perfect. Versus if I didn't put them in the fridge 2 to 3 days later, they wouldn't be usable anymore. So that's a tip that worked for me. I don't know if it's science. I'm not claiming it to be a scientific fact. So I just take a little bit of lime juice and just put it on the avocado. Lime juice is gonna, lime or lemon is going to prevent it from browning, but since we're eating right away, we don't really have to worry about that. But I just do it for flavor. So if you haven't had avocado, it's pretty bland. It doesn't really taste like anything. So I am just fully going to prep my warped ass toast because my husband smushed the bread in the fridge. So, and again, I know this is not the proper knife for cutting toast. I hear it all the time. But this is how we do things in this series kitchen. And we're going to go ahead and get this party started. And I'm just going to do my little light sprinkle of salt right now, just to get it on the avocado so I know that it's sticking. And now we can move on to the eggs. Alright, so we have our little bit of butter. Going to melt it down. I have mine on about like medium heat, maybe a little less than medium heat, because this is going to cook pretty quickly. I can make this whole breakfast thing a lot faster than it taking like the 20 minutes that it does take me to do. But I can't multitask. I'm not good at multitasking, especially when it comes to cooking, because I'll forget about things. So I literally have to do everything one component at a time. I'm just going to give this butter a second. I'm going to let it brown a little bit and we can get into it. All right, 2 egg whites, 1 whole egg. Boom, there you go. And then I just kind of like break the yolk up a little bit. I don't like my eggs to be like super scrambled. I don't know what to call this. It's like a mix between a scramble and an omelet. So I'm gonna give that a second just to cook on the bottom. So then now I'm just gonna kind of like start to push this around. I will also say I do not like my eggs to be super runny for this. Like I do like Eggs Benedict, but I'm not trying to have that kind of situation on my toast. So I'm gonna give this another couple of seconds and then try to flip it over. And then in about 30 seconds, this should be mostly done. I will say on days where I'm not super hungry, I'll just do like 2 egg whites. I literally just saw a dog hair float into this pan. When I'm not really hungry, I'll just do 2 egg whites and like 1 piece of toast and call it a day, but it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm freaking starving, so I did 2 egg whites, 1 egg, 2 pieces of toast. I should be able to eat it all. I just turn the heat off, and then what I like to do is just kind of like get them into like little bite-sized pieces so it's easier to eat. And then what I'm going to do is kind of like divide it in half as best I can. And then pour it onto the toast appropriately. Now I'm going to dump this onto the toast accordingly, now that I have it like kind of halved off. I don't really want that crusty bit. So you're left with something like that. And for the final step, a little drizzle of hot sauce. And there you have it. This is typically what I eat on a day-to-day basis. Honestly, I could do without the bacon. It just adds a different texture to it, I guess. Like you don't need, like I'm not trying to say eat bacon every day. But I do think that this is a pretty good breakfast. You got your carbs, you got your protein, your healthy fats with avocado. So this is typically what I eat when I want to make a breakfast that will fill me up for the day. Hey Siri, set a timer for 7 minutes.
Your timer is set for 7 minutes.
By the way, I know that my posture is completely horrible and I should not be hunched over, but this is where we're at. Normally, I like to find like a 30-minute show to watch while I eat. And thankfully, Sunday night animation is finally back on Fox, so I'm settling in with Family Guy, and I'll probably save The Simpsons or Bob's Burgers for dinner when Joe is up, because we like those shows better. Also, let me know in the comments down below, like, what is your guys' like morning routine when you choose to have one? Like I said, this is not an everyday occurrence. There are some days where I will not eat until like 7 o'clock at night, because times are hard. You know what I'm saying? But on your good days, what is like your morning routine when you don't really have a whole lot going on, when you can take your time with it? You know? Let me know. Give me some breakfast ideas down below. So that felt great. I probably could have done longer than 3 minutes, but I'm trying to build myself up to longer times, like I mentioned. I was just kind of soaking everything in my environment. There was like 2 louder like noises that sounded like a pipe or something, or like someone hitting something outside. That was a distraction for me, but for the most part, I could just hear the birds chirping. And to me, that was just, I don't know, it was like magical just sitting here with my eyes closed, just feeling the warmth of the sun on my skin, listening to the birds chirp. I felt Luna was here with me. And my head was pretty clear during it. I didn't really have any thoughts that were coming or going. I just didn't really feel anything, or I didn't really see anything, like any visions or anything. I just feel like I have clarity and some peace and some happiness after just taking 3 minutes to do that. So I encourage you guys to give this a try, and if you do, come back, let me know in the comments or like the next video of mine that you watch, and let me know how it goes for you. And I think now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the art project that I started last night to wrap that up and maybe start another one, because when I get these bursts of creativity, I just like to go with it, because I know that I can go days or even like 2 weeks without having any creative energy. So that's why I'm just like, don't like look at this video and be like, wow, she did all this stuff today and I'm not doing anything, because 90% of the time I'm not doing anything too. But when I feel it, I just go for it. So that is what I'm feeling today, and that is what I'm gonna do. So let's move on over to my painting. So I'm gonna finish up this watercolor practice that I started last night. I'm just gonna add some details with a marker or pen. I don't know which I'm gonna like better, so I'm probably gonna try out both. When I do my next watercolor project, I will probably just do a separate paint with me video in general, and I'll go over the supplies that I have and what I recommend. So if you're interested in that, subscribe because I'll post that too. But today I just want to kind of go over and add some details. So to make some of this pop a little bit more, because I've had some bleed together, which is fine. It's watercolor, it bleeds together. For some little definition, I'm gonna be using a pen and a marker. I'm not really sure which one I'm gonna prefer. We'll find out. But I love finding different mediums to work with and to use. So basically, I have an art Instagram, Art by MakeupByMegB. I do a lot of paint with me on there. I do have art for sale over there. I post stuff that I recreate, stuff that I'm inspired by. There's a link down below in case you're interested in following me. But basically, where I'm getting at is that I started off using acrylics, and I've been wanting to get into watercolor. So I've been going to watercolor classes and educating myself on this. And I don't know about you guys, but with everything that's going on, it's really hard to like come up with your own creativity sometimes. I really like mindless art. I don't know if that's like the right word for it, but I've really been enjoying more mindless work where it's like I'm just kind of doing it without really thinking, and starting from scratch is like a lot of thinking for me right now. So I've been doing some virtual classes, and if you're interested in learning the basis of watercolor, there is this place that's around where I live. It's called Art House, and they've been posting virtual classes. So if you're interested in that, you're also supporting a smaller and a local business of mine. I will link it down below. I believe their virtual classes are $15, and they just tell you what supplies that you need ahead of time before you purchase. Watercolor is also like really inexpensive. I'll get into that probably more in my watercolor video, so I'm not talking forever. But yeah, I just wanted to follow along with the tutorial, so I still felt like I did something creative and productive, but I wasn't needing to use like a lot of my own brain juice, if that makes sense. So the next time I do my own project, probably based off of the techniques that I learned today, I'll do a paint with me and I'll go more in depth about different products, and you'll actually get to see me do the watercolor. But I thought I would just, you know, sit here and do the outlines and share that with you guys. Maybe you'll find it interesting, maybe not. But yeah, let me know in the comments, like what kind of content would you be interested in seeing right now? I feel like not a lot of people are really interested in watching makeup videos and beauty content. So if y'all could help me out with that, I would appreciate it. But I'm gonna go ahead and angle you guys down while I listen to some music. Okay, so this is what the permanent marker looks like. Definitely more defined, not as delicate. I'm gonna go ahead and do this with the pen. This is like a little bit thicker of a pen. It's not like your typical pen, but we'll see. I kind of like how this turned out though, without lines. So you can kind of see what I was talking about, like when you paint, like you kind of create your own barriers. But with my tulips, I had a lot of them bleeding into each other. So I kind of wanted to redefine and then also have like the watercolor effect show through, you know, still look cool, but with some definition. But I'm gonna outline these anyways because this is a practice. So this is how we figure out what we like, what we don't like, what works, what doesn't work. I've also seen some people that don't outline their watercolors at all, and it looks really beautiful. And I've also seen some people that always outline their watercolors, even their acrylics, in like a pen, and they just do like a blob and then they add the detail in with the pen work. So I think that's really interesting and something that I definitely want to give a try soon. So what do you guys think so far? Do you think this looks better with the pen outline or without for this blue flower? I can't really decide what I like. I think I'll decide what I like once I do the peony. So let me just jump over to that. All right, so I think this pen works if you want something maybe a little bit thinner than the fine tip of a marker, or if you don't have a marker. This is like really thick pen. This specifically is a Zebra G301 0.7 millimeter pen. So what are your thoughts? Do you guys like the pen better on the peony, or do you prefer the Sharpie? Should I have not outlined it? In the viewfinder, it looks nice to have it a little bit defined. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. So for example, right here, you can kind of see these petals are kind of like blending right into the stem. Like there's no like defined like starting or end point, like perhaps down near the bottom. So that's why I was like, oh, maybe outlining could be better. I don't know. See, so like right here, I can define that. I also think that outlining can be helpful if you have too much of your pencil marks showing through. So that can kind of help cover up that mistake. I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely not that artist that can just freehand some watercolor. Like I need to have it mapped out before I start painting. So I'm definitely someone that has to draw it out and then practically erase my lines just so I can barely see them. But sometimes those lines still peek through just a wee bit, so this could be a solution to that problem. All right, so this is what we are having so far. I think smaller, delicate flowers like this definitely need the pen, but I almost like it without any pen. This one specifically. I wasn't sure how I felt about the peony, but I actually really like how it looks with the pen. So I think the pen might be the way to go. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. All right, so it's been a couple of hours since I've last spoken to you. Coming at you again with another crooked angle. I don't know why these tripods are like I thought I had everything all equal, but I guess not. And I am wearing bike shorts under this, just in case anyone cared. Probably no one does. But anyways, I had one more thing that I wanted to accomplish today, which was to get a sketch done. Some of the artists that I follow and that I kind of like talk with through DMs and stuff, they are having free coloring sheets on their websites. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to link Kendall and Morgan's Instagrams down below, and you can access their website through the link in the bio on their Instagram. I just think it'd be easier to link their Instagram. So that way you can kind of check their art out at the same time, maybe give them a follow if you like it. And then if you're interested in their coloring sheets, you can just find their website link in the bio of their Instagram. But this is one that Kendall did that I wanted to just sketch out. I've been enjoying doing watercolor with these, but this paper is too thick to go through my printer. So what I've been doing is that I just have this is like the design propped up here on my laptop. So I kind of just have this as a little bit of a guide, and then I translate it to the watercolor paper. This watercolor paper is 11 by 15, so it's like really large, and I don't think I'm gonna frame this one. I think I just want to paint it and just like kind of hang it up as is as a reminder. In case you can't tell what it says, today I will not stress about things that I can't control. I am somebody that has, with my anxiety, I have a lot of control issues. So it's a good reminder for me on the regular, and then especially with everything going on, it's important to remind ourselves that there is a lot out of our control and we can just control ourselves. So I like that message. This is what the design looks like. It's a cactus. I love painting cacti. It's like my favorite thing to paint that isn't abstract. And I've been wanting to teach myself some florals, as you saw earlier, and I'm going to show you the two other designs. So these ones I cut down because I have two other ones that I've done that I want to frame that are in the other rooms, so like they're not easy for me to grab. But this is like a basic succulent design. This is one of Kendall's again. And then this one is Morgan's design that I sketched out. It's a nice floral design. So I really like this one. This is what it looks like printed out on the coloring sheet. So if you just even have colored pencils, crayons, markers, or whatever, these are literally free to just print out. So again, I'll have those linked down below for you guys. But that is gonna wrap it up for today's video. I'm not really used to like vlogging or doing videos like this, so just let me know if there's something different that you would like to see. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you've been up to and what are some things that you have been enjoying, and let's share our knowledge with everyone because knowledge is power. So with that, I will leave you. Thank you again for watching. I hope you guys are staying safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.